Hi, everyone. This is your girl Shay, and today is Friday. But like my co host says, Friday. Welcome, everyone. We're going to give you a few minutes to get in. Welcome, guys. Oh, Erin, I am just loving today. Today is Friday, and today is, what do you call this? My inaugural launch of Food Focus Friday. I'm excited about this because, again, this gives me the opportunity to share information with my clients and, the community at large because people are always asking me specific questions. They're talking, about what they want to focus on. And because there is so much always to talk about when it comes to food and weight loss, this whole gamut of stuff. I decided to do a food focus Friday. Welcome. That's one of my Pure Trim Facebook users. Welcome to Food Focus Friday. It's so good to have you guys with me and Erin. Erin is my co-host for today, and let me tell you, today is going to be interesting because Erin herself is on her own journey, and one of the things she said to me was, Coach Shay, now, I'm finishing up. So what do I do next? And I said, you know what? That's gonna be our first show. And so this show really is all about getting you to focus on a food topic or even a trend for that matter. And basically, we get to see how food works, how we source food, and even how we eat food. So in this stream, we're going to share strategies today. And this is just really 30 minutes, so it's quick. It goes by very, very quickly. But the goal is to get you to kind of refocus, refuel, and just rethink about things that are specific to you when it comes to this whole overall wellness and holistic goals. So I want to welcome my co-host Erin Brown Connect. How you doing, honey?
I am amazing. It's always great to share a Friday with you, or like you say, a Friday.
Yeah, like you say.
Yeah, I love to say Friday because it's like the last work day, hopefully, for most persons. So why
Yep.
not celebrate it?
Thank you so much for being here with me. I'm excited again because you finish your keto. Well, you know what? Tell everybody what you're doing. Actually, first tell them what you're doing.
Well, I am preparing for Paralympics 2021.
Yay! Excited about that.
But I like to say, see this fabulous body you're looking at. She's an athlete too. So I've been doing clean keto for 3 months now.
Yeah.
It actually went by really, really, really fast.
Yep.
So I am on my last week or like a couple of days, and heading straight into training. COVID did us all a favor. For us athletes, we didn't see it as a favor. It kind of threw us back in our training and our development. Yet we now have opportunities to compete again. So I took this opportunity to sign up for my clean keto. So every 30 days, I just went from one to another to another. And can I tell you, I'm excited about the transition because I feel like I have so many tools, so much knowledge now. Now I am learning on a food focus Friday, how I'm going to do that.
Yes, I love that, Erin, because in this stream, again, like I said, we're focused. In this stream, we're going to talk specifically about keeping the weight off. And I know if you're joining us live and if you're having difficulty keeping your weight off, you definitely want to watch this stream. And if you come on, please share the stream. It's a live stream, it's interactive. Chrissy Ray, thank you so much for joining us. This stream is live and active. I know stream is a new word and it's a buzzword, but I don't know if stream actually means live or it means I'm not quite sure, but we're streaming live. I didn't want to be like, when you say a word that means the same thing, but we're streaming live. And if you're having difficulty keeping the weight off, that's who we're talking to today. And we're focusing on an area when it comes to keeping the weight off. We want to talk about strategies, and not just strategies, but how to make it happen. You know, the first thing you have to do is to rethink and reorganize your eating and your emotional environment. That's one of the first things you have to do.
Yes,
So,
it is.
yeah.
And if I can throw in there, I know a lot of times we feel when we're looking at programs and we're trying to think, is this good for me? Is this not? I'm a person with a disability. I am an above the knee amputee.
Hmm.
I'm a mother. I'm a professional. I'm an athlete living with a disability. Yet this program is an inclusive program. It considers all of your needs, your specific needs, your
Hmm.
nutritional needs. And so I want to be a representation today to know that you, when it comes to your health,
Hmm.
even living with a disability, it's important
Yeah.
that you engage and that you make sure find nutritionalists, physical therapists, just your spaces, those
Hmm.
spaces that make sure that they're able to customize and adapt for you.
Yeah.
So we're going to get right into it. So you heard Shay spoke about eating and emotional environment, all E's. I'm just figuring out what is that? What does that look like? How do we rethink it? Give us some more information on that, Shay.
Well, so the first thing is when we talk about rethink your emotional environment, we have to fully understand that if you're having a difficulty keeping weight off, and remember that's what this stream is about. These are all strategies and tips to help you with if you're having a difficulty keeping your weight off. First of all, your eating environment is your home. It is your home. It's your where you spend most of the time. It's your home and your office. And for most of us now, our office is our home, for most of us. So that eating environment is your home. And emotionally, it is the people that are in your home. So that's what your eating and emotional environment looks like. That is where you spend most of your time. And if you're having a difficulty keeping your weight off, one of the first things I like to say is if you're the person in charge of this environment, you have to start with making small adjustments because you have to include the people that want to help you or to be a part or is living in your environment to help you to keep the weight off. Because I can tell you this, if you want a smooth emotional roller coaster type thing, you want to make sure that you make small adjustments for the people in the environment to help you to continue to keep the weight off. And the next big thing is you got to lead by example. I'm just saying, I'm just putting it out there. You got to lead by example. So when you're thinking of how do you rethink your eating and your emotional environment, first thing you got to do is lead by example. You cannot be expecting the people that are in your environment to kind of, eat the vegetables you throw there if you don't start yourself to lead by example, one, and then make adjustments. Another thing that I like to say, and this is practical, this is one of the things you could put your hands on, Aaron, is, man, listen to me. Don't keep snack food in the house. I know snack is a buzzword. Snack, snack. You remember keto snacks, the bombs, all that stuff, Aaron? Let me say this to you. If you want to change that environment and you want to keep the weight off, do not keep snacks in your house unless it is fruits or even vegetables that you could snack on. And that's just one of the ways you want to keep that emotional environment um, and that eating environment, conducive for you to keep the weight off. Now, for some of y'all that are still in your office now, listen, you know the drawer where you got the mints, the candies, the gum. You need to get rid of that of your eating environment because let me tell you something. And God is, I don't know if you could speak to this, right? But when you are in an environment and you say, okay, I'm not going to have it today. But when you open the cupboard, right? What you ain't going to have today, it right there in the cupboard. Do you know what that feels like?
And hello, you want some of me?
So you have to make those adjustments. You have to make those adjustments. Sometimes they're not a lot of adjustments in the beginning. They're small adjustments, but nonetheless, changing, reorganizing this eating and emotional environment to keep your weight off, you have to start by those examples and you have to lead. Now, here's a big one for me, Erin. You have to read labels.
Mm.
You have to read labels. That is a major one for me. Tell me how you feel about that.
Well, when you spoke about the drawer and the cabinet and all of that, I was like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, so we gotta fix this stash.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Because what for me the eating environment and the emotional environment that you spoke about, I kind of recall growing up with my parents. My mom
Mm-hmm.
was a very healthy eater, so we didn't really have junk food. And
Right.
that has played a huge part in me and my family.
Good for you.
I didn't really impose junk food, but you know what happened? I went ahead and had a child. And you know, when you go in on the back school shopping list, for
Mm-hmm.
some reason, people think cookies and chips and stuff is lunchbox essentials.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I remember having a whole argument about it, like, why am I buying this? Like,
Mm-hmm.
no, they need this. So I kind of caved in.
Mm-hmm.
But now I don't. I've stopped putting the chips and the cookies where we
Mm-hmm.
absolutely always have nuts and fruits and everything around. So I tend to snack on that. And then after cancer, gum thing was a definite no for me.
Right.
You know, that's a whole nother conversation about gum. But I haven't chewed gum in about 17 or more years now.
Mm-hmm.
But we get it. What we're trying to say is we get it.
You get
You
it.
want to make sure create an environment that is very healthy, not only for your eating, but you're emotionally eating. You know,
Right.
eat emotionally well. I love
Mm-hmm.
that statement, by the way.
Plus,
Like,
and keeping the weight off, and keeping
Yes.
the weight off.
Yes.
So when I talk about reading labels, that is the big one. And we don't think about that all the time. But reading labels is one of the biggest things you can do to change that eating environment in your home and your office. Huge.
So the difference about reading labels. Now, you know, when we go to the food store, we usually don't turn it over to read it, right? I remember on Clean Keto when it said nitrate free bacon. I was like, okay, so what that is? And all bacon is bacon. Until I started to flip each packet, no matter how pretty it looked, no matter how organic they say, and it's low this, no that, 100% this. When you flip that bad boy open,
Listen to
sodium
me.
nitrate right there.
Listen to me. Listen to me. So let me tell you, my clients are asking me, does it really make a difference when you talk about keeping the weight off? Yes, it does. It makes a huge difference. So there was a time when we focused, remember, on food labels were actually they wasn't required. You didn't have them on the packaging. Now they were actually getting away with what I refer to as food murder. Because they had a lot of ingredients in these foods and there was no labels. Now that their labels are on there, let's use them to our advantage, because the fact is, when you eat food that does not have a good high nutritional value, let me tell you what happened. Your body stores it as three letters: FAT. So reading labels is an essential when it comes to keeping your weight off. Like you have to learn how to do it. Some people say, oh, like for instance, they pick up a package like this, right? And so they look at the front. They see all of the pretty pictures and it's like, okay, we could do this. They never turn to the side or to the back. And when you are on even especially a specific type of diet, let me tell you something. Reading labels is going to not only cause you to release the weight, but to keep it off, because that's what the stream is all about. We're talking to people in a focus area of how do you keep your weight off. And what we're telling you is you have to change your eating and your emotional environment for that to happen. People ask me all the time, Shay, how do you keep your weight off? Eating and emotional environment, I make sure. And that's what we're talking about today. If you're just joining us, making sure we're giving you strategies and really how to make this happen, because it makes a huge difference. So, Erin, now I know you said you were coming off a clean keto, right? So, what are your thoughts when you think of me specifically talking about reading labels?
I found that it's been very essential for me. I know that we're talking about also the emotional environment. I have children. One in particular, we've moved now to more towards a gluten-free environment as well.
Yeah.
And so that means that's a change for me too. So when I look at ingredients, I'm making sure that it's either nut flour or it doesn't have any wheat flour or. But the only way I'm going to find that out is if I turn it over because I've been duped. Trust me, with the 100% GMO and the this free and the that free and the 100%, and then you turn over and you look at the ingredients and the list so long, you want to know how would get organic so long. So it has made a huge difference for me because it's made me more aware and conscious too. And being on the clean keto, having to identify more healthy fats for my body to sustain ketosis and burn and just keep my metabolism going and my organs and everything flowing. It has made a huge difference.
I'm glad you said that, Erin, because you're on clean keto, and for those of you that are out there and heard about the clean keto diet, with all of my groups and my clients, I do a clean keto. I do a clean keto. I don't just do keto because I know keto does work, but the goal for me as a nutritionist is always to get my clients not just to lose the weight, but to get them to keep it off and to be in a eating and an emotional stable environment. So even when you think about uh, clean keto, like Erin is on, for example, when you're eating clean keto, we stay away from sugars. Generally, that's how keto works. But with clean keto, we also stay away from artificial flavors. We stay away from colors and hydrogenated oils, which has trans fat. And these things, they can cause a lot of inflammation. And so it's very, very important when you're on clean keto to read labels because listen, the food producers, they sneak these little combinations of foods in there. And if you're not reading those labels when it comes to keto, especially the oils, because I can tell you, people always talk about oils, fat, fat, fat. First of all, emotionally, I had to get my clients to now rethink that fat is not going to make you fat. That was first the uphill journey.
And that's huge. We were like, what? We are taking on fat?
Yes. Can you believe it? Right. That was the uphill battle. And then we won that battle because the group that I'm coaching right now, the groups that I'm coaching right now, we're just ending 3 months of clean keto and everyone did phenomenal, and a lot of it was around just first getting my clients to understand, yeah, we're going to eat fat to help us to release weight, also to help us to burn fat and cause our fat to give us energy. But my main focus was, listen, I need this to stay emotionally stable. I need our eating environment to help us to continue to lose the weight once this plan is finished. So a lot of the things that I was teaching was separating what I call good fats from bad fats. I know we talk about bacon is a part of keto. Now, even though I did allow some bacon, and Erin, I know you remember this, right? On certain days on the clean keto, it had to be what, Erin? Nitrate free, right?
Nitrate free.
Exactly. And so the whole idea is you want to use oils that that doesn't have trans fat. You don't want to use oils that actually cause inflammation. That makes a big difference. And so when you look at the hydrogenated oils on clean keto, those which you want to stay away from, the oil blends and stuff. I had this let me see if I can share it, Erin. Let me share it. I had this I think it was a couple of my clients was asking me about specifically some of the nut butter, right? I'm going to share this with you guys on the screen, right? The nut butter. Can everyone see that on the screen?
It's coming up.
It's coming up? Okay. Yeah. So this is a nut butter, and this is why I don't like to read, just look at the labels in the front. I like to turn it around and read this. So when you look, I was saying to them on Clean Keto, you have to look for a almond butter that is good on keto. not necessarily quote unquote healthy, but also keto approved. So when you look at this one here, you can see the ingredients there. It says dry roasted almonds, organic shredded coconut, organic coconut sugar. These are all good ingredients, even argan oil and sea salt. However, this almond butter is not keto approved. And I am one of those people is nuts naturally has its own oils. It has its own fats. So I am one of those people that are not, I'm adverse to if you have a nut butter where you add extra oil to it from another source, whether it's argan oil or any other source. So let's look at this one here. This is one of my go-to, and I intentionally showed you the back of the label and not the front. Notice what this one says. All of the stuff gluten-free, peanut-free, but look at the ingredients down there. Sprouted raw almonds. Can you see that?
Yeah.
Sprouted raw almonds. So when we talk about specifically looking at food labels, this is why I love to make sure that we gear into a specific area to help my clients keep the weight off. So Barbara Harvey is joining us. Thank you too, Barbara, for joining us. And also to Risha. Thank you, honey. That's my girl up in there, Risha. And Risha did join us for the 21-day cleanse just recently. So again, thank you guys for joining us. If this is your first time, this is Food Focus Friday. This actually just a 30 minutes program, and we're going to focus on a specific area when it comes to either foods or trends, and the whole goal is to help you to keep the weight off, because I don't know about y'all, but I got to a place where I was sick and tired of gaining weight, losing weight, gaining weight. So that's what this is all about. Now, when we look at foods, right, and we talk about reading labels, here's another big one, right? And Erin had asked me earlier about it. Erin, so you want to share the question that you'd asked me about when it came to
Nah, Shay, I ask you all type of questions.
I know, right?
So let's narrow this one down.
I know. We was talking about examples of healthy foods that kind of look,
yes.
yeah, like
okay. Because junk food is real.
Right.
Junk food is real for persons. And yes, this is Food Focus Friday, and we want to rethink, we want to refocus, and we want to refuel. And so for us, our go-to is junk food when we want to refuel. You know them commercials when they say you're hungry and you're all angry. When they say angry and you grab a Snicker, we want you to grab a Snicker. We want to give you examples of what are some healthy, think about this now, healthy junk food.
Yeah, Erin, let me tell you something. Now, this is how, again, this stream, if you're just joining us, thank you so much, Barbara. It's so good to see you. If you're just joining us, this is Food Focus Friday. And on Food Focus Friday, we either find a food or a food trend to focus on to help you to keep the weight off. And Erin, my co-host and guest today, she is coming off of clean keto. And so her question to me, Shay, was, how I can keep this weight off and how I can stay focused. So the first thing I said to her was, you need to start to rethink your eating and your emotional environment. She's like, huh? So I was like, yeah, you can be on the show today because that's what we're going to talk about. In the beginning of the stream, we shared that your eating and your emotional environment is actually your home and your office. Now, for the most of us, we're working from home now. So it's your office and your home. That is your environment. And in order to keep this weight off, you got to make sure that there's some harmony, there's some stability in your eating and your emotional environment, right? So let me tell you some of the strategies and how we can keep this weight off. Not just strategies. Hey, mommy, that's my mommy. I got the best mommy in the world. Hi, mommy. Y'all know Mother's Day coming up, so I want to take this opportunity to tell you, mommy, happy, healthy Mommy Day. I love you, love you, love you, love you, Sandra, Mildred, Smith, Thompson, Smith. Use all of them names in a bag of chip. I love you, mommy. Thank you so much. Yeah, let's get back because we only got 30 minutes. But when it comes to healthy junk foods, unfortunately, we have been bamboozled run amok. Yeah, and this even in political time, hey? We have thrown some stuff out there. Now, let me say this. As a nutritionist and a nutrition coach, let me say this. If you are trying to keep the weight off, snacking is something that you shouldn't do. Let me tell you what I advise my clients. If you are hungry, eat. Eat a full meal and be done with it, because 9.5 out of 10 times when you snack, you can turn around and you can eat again. And unfortunately, a lot of these snacks are considered healthy junk foods. And listen, y'all ready for this? I'm going to tell you all two healthy junk foods right away that people get thrown away with. They throw them, it throws them off their whole weight loss plan. And sometimes, like, my clients call me up and say, Shay, all I was eating was this. You know what's one of the first things? Sweet covered nuts. I'm going to give you all a moment. I'm going to drink my chlorophyll right now with my sea moss. I call this sea moss Hito. You know, like mojito, the sea moss Hito.
and you know what? That ain't even fair. That ain't even fair, because when you think about nuts, you be saying, ooh, nuts is healthy, healthy oils. I don't care if it have a little bit of dark chocolate over here or a little this over here. I can get away with that.
Right. Yeah. They're considered healthy junk foods. And let me say this to you. They use, it's almost like using a part of a food that's healthy and you throw in a lot of unhealthy components in there. Now, see, we're talking specifically about people who want to keep their weight off and who wants a healthy emotional and eating environment at home as well as their office. These are the people we're talking to today. Food Focus Friday is a focused group of people. Sweets. Either they would be covered with some sugary syrup, something. And when you look at because we're talking about reading labels, when you look at the total carb content, listen, you want to stay away from them. Let me tell you one of the biggest things, especially on clean keto and eating in general. If you want to keep the weight off, you never combine the food that is high in sugar and high in fat. Those two just does not go together. That is a recipe for disaster. Like, for instance, right? I'm going to be the first one to raise my hand. Bread and butter? Now, listen to me. I usually have a little bit of bread with my butter because I'm a butter lover. But again, let me just put it out there. When I do dairy responsibly, like I call it. I'll use organic dairy. I don't use it a lot, but I use organic dairy. But butter will be the fat and bread is the sugar, the carbs. Yeah. So when you're using that combination together, that is a recipe for disaster. So if you're trying to keep this weight off, stay away from the junk food that is sweet, covered nuts, and they can look like bread and butter. They can look like the syrup-covered nuts, the dried fruits, the cranberries, what they call them, the craisins with nuts, the sweet and the fat. It is a no. Erin, what you say? What say you, Erin?
Yeah.
I know, I'm messing you up.
Because I remember looking at some listen to this.
Dark chocolate.
Chocolate. Hold on. Himalayan pink salt. Almond. Now you know that's a trick. That's a trap.
A trick from the devil.
Because when you're doing the clean keto, you know, one of the keywords, Himalayan salt, is good. We put it inside our water. We drink it. We put it inside our shake and our food. You know. So when you see that, it's like, oh yeah, I can take this because it have Himalayan salt and it have dark chocolate, because then you think about the cacao and all that stuff.
Yep.
But when you turn it over.
Yep.
It just hurt all your feelings because you could have done taste the cacao and
everything in it,
almonds and everything, and it just take a lot of willpower.
Yes.
To say, okay, no, and have all of the things I should look for.
Right.
But in the combination, I should not eat it that
No,
way.
no. And especially if you're coming off of clean keto. If you're joining us for the first time, Kayleen, my girl in Grand Bahama, Kayleen Newton, I want to say mwah, mwah. Thank you so much for joining us. This is Food Focus Friday. And like my girl Erin says, Friday. Loving it, loving it. We're giving you the tips, the tools, and the strategies to help you, not just to release the weight, but to keep it off. And one of the things we said in the beginning was you got to change and reorganize your eating and emotional environment. And that's your home, your office. You got to do some practical things like no more gum and candy inside the drawers. You got to clean out those cupboards. You have to start to read labels. That's one of the biggest things. We're going to have more focused conversations like this every Friday, just for 30 minutes, really, not a long Focus Friday stream, but just to get you to continue to think, how am I going to keep this weight off? Because I'm so sick and tired of seeing my people's them gain weight, lose weight, gain weight, lose weight. My goal now as a nutritionist and a coach is to get you to keep this weight off. And how do we do this? We change. We reorganize that eating and that emotional environment, because the two goes hand in hand. And one of the first things I say is, listen, if you are in charge of your eating environment, you got to lead by example. That's all I'm saying. Oh, to my sister Keisha, what you saying, honey? That's Keisha Cash on Facebook joining us. That's my girl. That's my ride or die. She's Thompson all up in there. Hey, Keisha, thank you for joining us. And Deidre. Did you say hello, my peeps? Deidre is actually on the last stream, just like Erin, on clean keto. And let me tell you something. Deidre, if you learn anything, go ahead and put it in the comment section. Let everyone see if you learn anything of being on clean keto, because that's what the stream is all about. Thank you so much, Barbara. Barbara said great tips. Keisha laughing at me. She got the funny faces, right? I love you, Keish. You's my girl, Thompson and all. But when we talk about healthy junk foods, I'm going to share this picture with y'all right now. Y'all ready for this? Because this is, for me, this is one of the biggest, listen here, trick of the enemy. This Satan in the backyard, the front yard. Y'all ready for this? Let me show y'all this one right here. Because when it comes to healthy junk foods, okay, y'all ready for this? Okay, I'm going to show y'all this one right here. Bam. I don't know. Y'all ready for this one right here?
It's coming. We about to get ready.
That one right there. That one right there. Listen, people. I promise you. This right here. One word. What's your word is, Erin?
Well, I'll be honest. I feel too bad because you told me from a long time, get off them cereal.
Get off them cereal. Yes. Why?
So I didn't make my transition, but boy, I could see some of them things.
Yes. Listen to me. Barbara say, oh, wow. Yes. Let me tell you something. This right here is considered healthy junk food. There is nothing. Listen, there's none. And I'm going to be honest with you. My children for a long time, even my son is 15 now. You guys know him, Master Kai. I talk about him all the time. Listen to me. I took him off of all cereals a year ago. And can I tell you, along with taking him off of all cereals, what I did is I reorganized my environment. And that's the emotional environment. That's the eating environment. And of course, yes, I led by example. And he lost 62 pounds in 1 year. And I didn't have him on a diet as such. I changed the eating and emotional environment. That's one thing. Yes, he did some keto. He also did some pure trim shakes. I had him doing a whole myriad of stuff because he's a 15-year-old boy. And so I had to mix it up. But he's 62 pounds lighter, but not just 62 pounds lighter. He's going to keep the weight off because his whole environment has changed. So let me scroll down. Let me show y'all something. Let me scroll down here just a little bit. See here, this is some of the junk. Look at some of the ingredients on this food. I mean, you know what? I'm going to make that even bigger right now so y'all could see this. Look at some of the junk on this food. In these, and this is basically the basic ingredients when you talk about cereal. That's why I consider these healthy junk foods. Look at some of the ingredients. You see what these ingredients look like? Let's look at this word right here, degerminated. When you see degerminated on any package, let me tell you what that is in layman's term. They're taking the good healthy fats, from the food or the good healthy husk in corn, as we talk about corn, and they're stripping it from the food. That's where all the nutrients is. That's where all the healthy oils is. And let me tell you why they're stripping it from the food. Because they want it to stay longer on the shelf. And so when they degerminate a food, it's like taking the skin off the human body. Just think about that for a second. The skin is what protects. The skin is where you absorb all your nutrients from. And they're going to take it off. And they're just going to leave the rest of that stuff. That's going to raise your blood sugar. So even when it comes to your environment, your eating environment, to make that emotionally stable, you got to read labels. Look at this, blue 40, blue 1, red 40. What y'all think that is? If any of y'all wearing blue jeans now, listen, the blue jean is in your cereal. That's all I'm going to say about that. And let me show you how sneaky they is. Look at it. They throw in some turmeric extract, turmeric. And see, let me tell you again how sneaky they are. They put in coconut, right? Yeah, they got in some coconut oil in there, but look at the first oil, vegetable oil. So these buggers stay sneaky. So you want to look for words like enriched. See that word right there? Look out for words like that. Modified, anything. If it modified, honey, you ain't need that. Corn syrup. That's the devil. Vegetable oil. Brown sugar syrup. Olive oil blends. They got these blends now. So all of that stuff there is stuff that is very scary. And when we talk about eating and making sure that your emotional environment is holistic and whole, this is what I'm talking about on the stream today. You got to make sure it is whole. You following me, Erin?
Listen, I was looking at those recipe, and you keep seeing a repetitive corn flour blend, wheat blend.
Blend.
They make sure put all these buzzwords that we consider 100% whole wheat. So we're looking for wheat. Oh yay, wheat is in it. Let's get it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's how they trick you. They are trickers. Keisha says, I can't believe it. This is my last day for Fruit Loops. Keisha, let me just say that ain't no fruit in your loops, honey. You turn that box of Fruit Loops around. Let me tell you how serious I am. See right here? These are in my house. Let me tell you why these are in my house. I go out and I purchase these. And let me tell you why I do it. Because I spend a lot of time educating and talking to young adults, because that's where my passion is. I want to pass this on to the next generation. I want to see the 10, the 12, the 11, the 15-year-olds talking about this. And this is why I have my son in my streams. Why? Because I need him to know this stuff. See what in my house? I got Fruit Loops too, Keisha. But I'm not eating this. I have this in here so I can actually help them to see tangibly. Even and do demonstrations with them so they can see that this is real food. So that's why I have these in my house. You see here, this stuff is this from Satan. I promise you that. And the fact is, let me tell you what I love about the food stores that I reach out to all the time. They're changing their shelves. And why? Because we're helping them to change the shelves. I know there was a time when you couldn't find good food on the shelves, but today you could find good shelves. Mom says, I don't eat blue jeans. Girl, I don't eat blue jeans either. and Deidre say, they have tricked us into thinking these items are healthy. That's it right there, Deidre. Unfortunately. But now guess what? The labels on the food. So we could read labels, and this is one of the things. Erin, when you said to me, how do you transition? This is how you start to transition and prepare yourself to keep the weight off. You got to read labels, because coming off the keto, I am going to increase your carbs. So your eating protocol moving forward is going to look like LCHF, and that's an acronym for low carbs, but still high fat. So when you're coming off a clean keto, you're going to transition with the carbs a little higher. So your carbs will move from somewhere from between 25, 50, and even now up to 75 grams. But you're still focusing on low carbs. And so there will be an increase in the carbs. Y'all hear my birds in the background? Listen, ain't nothing like living in nature.
The island gals. Now, I have a real question.
What's your real question?
Because you already talk about the mints and the gum inside the drawer at work. So if we can't have the mints and the gum, what we can do to freshen our breath when we wanna Give us some tips. Like, I'm talking
Listen,
about some real stuff. Give
listen.
us some tips that we could replace in our drawers that'll still be healthy, will still allow us to rethink and refocus and refuel. Because them mints and gum in the drawer for a reason, Shay.
Girl, you got it. And you're right. Here's the tip. And I even started drinking it this morning. But first, Deidre said we must learn to consume foods in its purest form, whole foods. Yes, Deidre. Yes, 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 yes. Because if we don't do that, we're not going to be able to keep the food off. The less refined food we have, the better it is to keep our weight off and keep our eating and emotional environment conducive to health and to keep releasing the weight. Now, let me tell you something. When it comes to Kishi said thanks, Erin. Yeah, Kishi saying thank you because she understands that. That's one of our ketonians. She's saying hello. I don't know if that's Erin or whoever that is, or if that's Synovia. But guess what? Let me tell you one of my go-tos. One of my go-tos is chlorophyll. I have a video on my YouTube channel, and my YouTube channel is Eat Emotionally Well. If you haven't gone over there, go over there to Eat Emotionally Well. And please remember, don't forget to subscribe because other sisters and brothers need to know the information. That's how we can get the Bahamas healthy, and that's how we can keep this weight off. Because y'all know how, listen, 8 out of 10 of us overweight. So we got to do what we got to do. But one of my go-tos for breath fresheners and to keep that breath fresh and everything is chlorophyll. That's one of my main go-tos. I talk about it, especially if you're on keto, because it actually is referred to as a blood and body deodorizer. And it's made from plant. It's actually considered plant pigmentation. So if you're vegan, it's vegan friendly. I have it all the time. You don't see any more left in it now, just a little bit. But when I start my morning, I just said it. I do my sea moss Hito. I do a tablespoon of my Mint Majesty sea moss, and I do chlorophyll. But if you just want to freshen your breath, take a little bit of chlorophyll, put it in water, and just gargle with it, and it keeps your breath fresh the whole day. Even in addition to that, you could actually use pure peppermint essential oil that is edible. That's what I'm talking about, sweetie. So listen, the mints in the drawer, the gum in the drawer, it comes with other stuff.
Yeah.
It comes with other stuff.
We get that part. In my mind, I was sitting there like, so you asking me to empty out my good drawer?
I know, right? Empty that out, sweetie, because you trying to reorganize your emotional environment. And a part of that is leading by example and starting to put into some practices. That's the biggest thing. That's the biggest thing. Elizabeth say, can you repeat the YouTube channel again? My YouTube channel is Eat Emotionally Well as Facebook is Eat Emotionally Well and Instagram is Eat Emotionally Well. When you go on to YouTube, make sure you subscribe. Elizabeth, thank you so much for tuning in today. Let me tell you something. This here for me is all about helping and giving you the practical tools, helping you to transition, helping you more importantly to keep this weight off, man. Because listen, I tired of seeing y'all fat today. You know, y'all forgive my little, I call it French. But, you know, I want you to stay stable and you got to use practical tools to keep the weight off. I tell you, Erin is here today because the first thing she said to me is, Shay, I did so good on. Erin, what was your starting weight on clean keto? What was your starting weight?
212. Don't ready for that? 213.
And what is your weight today? And you are 3 months into clean keto. You could show off now.
So 145.
Woo! That's a celebration up in here. Yeah, that is a celebration from 212 to 145. Plus, we got the pictures to prove it because let me tell you, y'all know how our people is, right? When my clients start with me, the first thing I just tell them, send me a photo before and after, stand on the scale, let me see your foot, and when you start and when you end. I do that because I want to share these testimonies with you, but I also want you to see real live pictures because listen to me, I ain't just tooting my own horn. I've been doing this for a while. What I do works. And if you really want to keep this weight off, you have to connect yourself to a nutritionist or a nutrition coach that is proven, that knows what he or she is doing to help you to keep this weight off. And that's what this Food Focus Friday is all about, getting you to keep the weight off. Deidre says she on her way.
I know that's
Deidre said
right.
she's on her way. And Keisha is saying that's awesome, Erin. Sanovia, that's my girl from the Win to Win who's on every Wednesday. Sanovia is saying, hi, everyone. Hi, Erin. Sanovia is again another picture of health doing her own thing. And Sanovia got me because, listen, on the 12th, y'all know what I'm going to be doing with Sanovia. It's called Renew Me. It's a whole dance thing going on. I signed up for a month. Y'all pray for me.
Woo!
I signed up only for a month, right? Because I can test this thing out and see how Sanovia can keep me engaged, but I can stay focused, because even your
Yes.
girl here, that's a part of this whole environment. You got to make sure it's emotionally stable. You got to make sure the eating is stable, and you got to make sure the physical is stable. So, Sanovia, thank you for joining us. Keisha said, awesome. One of our Pure Trim persons, Erin, she says, good job, Erin.
Thank you.
And DG, thank you so much for joining us. So we're going to wrap up, because this Food Focus Friday, basically only about 30 minutes. And it's all about you, how you interact with us, how you share the stream, because this is all about for you guys. And one of the things I want to do when it comes to sharing information is give you practical tools, because you need to keep this weight off. And that's Aisha. Aisha said, yes, ma'am, this Aisha. So she just let me know that. Thanks so much, Aisha, for joining us. And again, as we end this Food Focus Friday, let me tell you something. Fuel. When we talk about refueling, another
Yes.
thing we have to do is we have to start every morning with food that is uncooked. This is a big thing. This is a big thing. This is how you refuel. And let me tell you, you have to use your food for fuel. And in order for that to happen, is the food got to be uncooked. It has to be in its raw, live, close to live as possible. And let me tell you something. I can sit back in my chair. Listen, people, I know we so used to saying we can get gas if we don't have something hot for breakfast. But listen to me. That is a Bahamian thing. That's a black thing. That's a white. Listen, that's a everybody thing, but it's really not true. The body is a live and living being. So when you break fast, which is your first meal, whether it's 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 11 o'clock, you need to start with raw foods. Let it be things like fruits, like a nut bowl. Again, these are examples. A green smoothie, a protein shake. And guess what? You don't have to just know. I don't subscribe to counting calories. Any of my clients can tell you that. We don't count calories. But what we make sure is the quality of our food is intact. That's what we make sure do. And in addition to that is you got to make sure half of your plate covered with what? Uncooked greens. That's it. You hear, Erin? That's what we're all about, keeping the weight off. Sanovia says, thanks for being an excellent coach. Great job, Erin. Thank you, Sanovia. I can't wait for Renew Me Dance, May 12th. Thank you, Sanovia. And Deidre said, that's a lie. I have not had tea for more than 3 weeks. Listen to me.
Had no gas.
I know.
No gas, and we're not hungry.
Exactly.
And something that Keisha said really quickly. She said, "Listen, Shay, this is a full job to take on, but she is ready. She's ready to do it, and that is the type of refocusing, rethinking that you have to." Wake up every day throughout the day and push yourself, because you're not only rethinking, you're changing your palate. You're changing what your body crave for. Because I don't crave for a lot of stuff, but I ain't gonna lie. That coconut water and that coconut jelly is calling me.
That is the truth. I know, right?
It is important that, especially on this Food Focus Friday, that you understand you have the control.
Yes.
Look at those, not only the control, you now have the tools and the knowledge when you do look at these recipes and at these ingredients. You're going to not pick up stuff that says degerminated, fortified, enriched. All of these things, you can now start. Now, it's not going to be perfect. Yet, it's you starting.
Aaron, thank you so much for that nugget. Listen to me. I love you here as always. Listen, because this is a Food Focus Friday, if you have any area you want to focus on, we're focusing because we recognize there's so much to talk about and people have different issues. If you have a question, just like how Aaron said to me, Coach, listen, how I can transition, how I can get focused. I was like, okay, you can be on my Food Focus Friday. And the goal is to give my clients practical tools along with the theory to get them to release the weight and keep it off. But one of the biggest things we talked about here, and I want to leave with you, is you got to make sure that environment, which is your home and your office, is you're eating and you have emotional stability, because this is how you're going to keep your weight off. And in the beginning of this stream, we said, are you having difficulty keeping your weight off? If you are, and if you know someone, share this stream, because we're going to be back here Friday at the same time, same place. And in addition to that, even if you have a food focus or a topic you want us to talk about next week, inbox me, send it to me. I'm on YouTube as Eat Emotionally Well. I'm on Facebook as Eat Emotionally Well. I'm on Instagram as Eat Emotionally Well. These are all of my business page. Yes, this is Shay King, not on my personal pages, but I want you guys to move on over to my business page, because that's where I'm going to spend most of my time training, educating, and talking about Food Focus Friday, like Aaron says. Oh my goodness, Mommy, thank you for joining us. Deidre, Zenobia, Aisha. Oh my goodness, I think that is Mario as well. A couple of persons on the Pure Trim group. That's what this is all about. So we remember this Food Focus Friday is getting you to rethink, getting you to refuel, and getting you to focus on how you can not just lose the weight, but to keep it off. Because I promise you, over the last 7 years as a nutritionist and a coach, that has become my goal.
Yeah.
Getting you to keep the weight off. And the biggest part of that is using your food for fuel, energy, and wellness. That's the major part of that. So, Goddess, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for doing this. And
Yeah.
I don't know if I've said it to you before in this way, but you have always been a representation of the possibility of eating healthy.
Thank you.
Rethinking the way we eat and interact with food, and how our emotions is tied into our food, because we kind of knew that. We just didn't know what to do with it.
Right.
And so I want to just thank you for continuing to hold this space for us. Because persons like Deidre and Keisha, we don't know where we would be right now if you weren't showing up and being available to us. So Food Focus Fridays.
Yes.
Tune in on Fridays.
12 noon. See you guys next week, same time, same place on Food Focus Friday. Thank you too. That's Keisha saying thank you. Zenobia saying thank you. Thank you guys so much. Remember, 12 o'clock, we'll see you again. And if you have anything you want to focus on, any food, hit me up before Friday. Aaron, that's Deidre saying thank you and bye. See you guys. And remember to share the stream. I'm sure you know someone who has a focus. See you guys again soon.